building the business turns you into a different kind of human being.
Realize that failure is a part of the journey.
I think there's hope out there for all of us.
They say procrastination be the assassination of destinations. That's why we out here grinding with no association with haters and them other crabs trying to put us down. Pest badges in the house, boy, don't clown. Just keep your eyes on the prize, ain't no giving up. You can do whatever you dream of. Just keep your eyes on the prize, ain't no giving up. You can do whatever you
Welcome back to another episode of Pest Control Millionaire. Got another stud on today, which I'm super excited for. I think we've been planning this for a couple of months. Back and forth. So it finally worked out. I'm a quick start. So I'm like, hey, want to run a podcast tomorrow? He's like, absolutely, let's roll. So worked out pretty good. We have Greg Young on here. He's founder of Natura Pest Control. There's branches pretty much all over the country at this point, but we'll talk about that. Super excited to have you on today. Greg, thanks for being here with us today. I know I had your partner on a couple weeks ago, Andrew Briss. So it was pretty cool. We talked shop for a while. I think he was out of Reno, right?
That's right. Yep. Andrew lives in Reno. Yep.
And he invited me out there. So at some point, I have some friends who live in Reno. I told them that when I go out there, I'll do a shop tour of your branch out there. I think it'd be really fun. It'd be cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I appreciate you letting me jump on with you. I've watched. It's been fun watching Pest Control Millionaires blow up, and I've watched the podcast, and so I'm happy to actually be sitting with you and chatting.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's fun. It's so cool because I get to meet people like yourself pretty much every single day. And the amount of relationships that I've built over the last, whatever it's been, almost 200 episodes at this point, is pretty incredible. Like, it's awesome. Like, just to be able to reach out, talk to friends. It seems like every state that I go into, I know someone who lives there, or city that can go pop in, say hi. Arizona, I know a bunch of people popped in, say hi when I was out there. It's just really cool.
That's awesome.
There's just a bunch of high-level dudes that are doing big things, and just, what's working in your market versus our market. It's just cool to be able to, like, if I run into a situation or don't know how to solve it, never ran into it before, reach out to people like yourself. Like, hey, I ran into this, you run into it. Yeah, that's how you solve it. Cool. It's pretty awesome.
Well, that's actually one thing I like about our industry as a whole. Like, I feel like maybe it's always been this way. I feel like it's happened over the last 8 or 10 years where there's this really strong feeling of abundance amongst a lot of pest control owners where we're willing to share and be open and just share what's working, what's not working. I don't feel like it's always been that way. I feel like I said, I think that's happened in the last 8 or 10 years.
Yeah, so I came from the lawn care world, and when I was in the lawn care world, it was super open. Like, everyone is willing to help everyone, no matter where you went to. There was YouTube's channel, like, already started. People giving out information. This is a long time ago, by the way. It's 2014 or 12, somewhere in there. And then I got into pest control, and I didn't feel like it was the same 5 or 6 years ago. And I reached out to people that are super quiet. Maybe it's just the people that I ran into, but it was like hush hush and no one want to talk about it. I'm like, this is so opposite than what I'm used to. So when I got into pest control, I was like, dude, I want to just flip this whole industry upside down and just like give away as much free information as I possibly can. And I feel like maybe I didn't make the shift or help make the shift, but I feel like we've definitely been headed in the way for sure.
That's a good point, because it was about 5 years ago, suddenly, and maybe it was always this way. Maybe it's just as I grew and got bigger, the people I was around became more abundant. I don't know. Like, I think maybe when I was a lot smaller, I had a lot more like, oh, these are my secrets, I can't tell anyone. Which is not real, obviously, but I do feel like our industry, and I feel like people like you are definitely helping. Like, it's just helping with that, helping people feel open, give out the free stuff. You're always giving out free stuff, free information. This podcast, it's cool. It's really cool.
But yeah, I just want to say thanks for being with us today. And real quick, if you and I are juniors, senior in high school, who are you in high school? What do you like back then?
Dude, so you would find me trying to be in a band with my friends just so I could be included, or just because I wanted to hang out with my friends, and I never really liked playing the bass. I loved football but couldn't play because I had a kidney removed, and so my two favorite sports were football and hockey, and suddenly I couldn't play any contact sport. So I joined yearbook, and I got into graphic design in high school.
Awesome.
And I did a lot of I was into being yearbook editor, and then went to college for graphic design, all that stuff. But yeah,
that's really cool.
Decided there's not a lot of money in graphic design.
When did you get your kidney out?
I was 9 years old.
Oh wow.
Because I started growing and getting bigger, like my kidney was just, it never developed, and so it was creating a lot of pains as I was starting to hit puberty and stuff. And Found out there's no kidney there, or it was an infant, it was a baby kidney, so they had to remove.
Gotcha. So then you go off to college, go for graphic design. Do you still play around with that stuff today?
All our own stuff. I designed our logo, all marketing stuff. In fact, just about 6 months ago, I realized like you need to stop being the guy that designs everything. Like that's not your highest and best use anymore. And that was a hard one for me to let go, which is sounds so dumb, but that was hard for me to let go.
It's just because you enjoy it, you love it, it's your passion. So
Yeah, and I feel like I'm the one that's dialed it in for so many years, and like I had that dumb thought in your mind, like no one else can do it like me, and then
there's obviously way better. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, they're way better than me.
Yeah, and then how do you find pest control, or how does pest control find you?
Yeah, I was in college. I just got done serving a mission for my church, and my buddy, dude, come knock doors and sell pest control. I'm like, no, that sounds so dumb. So then that summer, I sat at home and did like I worked at a furniture store, and my buddy came back and he made like 30 grand, and I was like, who would actually end up being the co-founder. His name's Danny. He and I started Natura together. But he recruited me to co-sell. Then after I saw that he did 30,000 that first year, I'm like, well, if you can do it, I can do it. And we worked for this marketing company for a lot of years called Elite Marketing back in the day. This is 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. Paper contracts, you got the oh yeah, you got the carbon copy. When you're knocking, you have all the checks, all your sales checks listed across the clipboard for your bandwagon close. And yeah, those were the simpler times. I remember having to like twist the pest control company's arm to let us do credit card. Like we had to write in our contract one year that they would allow us to do credit card.
That's funny.
But after that, I started my own marketing company. He and I started a company called Spark Marketing, and we did that for a lot of years. And we did that from 2009 to 2013 and 2012. And we're like, dude, we're growing all these pest control companies.
We don't own the accounts. Yeah.
So in 2012, we started Natura in California.
How was owning the marketing company? How'd you like it?
So that was a lot of fun. I really liked that. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but that's so much simpler of a business, in my opinion, than the pest control company. Like for me, it was just, I would just find buddies. We just become friends, and they would eventually ask me what I do for a living, and I tell them what I do, and then I get them to come with me. And like, it was just having fun. Like it was just really easy. The criticism I'd give to ourselves in that is we never got over like 80 or 90 reps. Like we could never break through that because I think my co-founder and I, we were just a little too in the day to day. We never elevated above it. But that was a lot of fun. It was fun doing that. But dude, it was crazy. Like compensations back then were so little compared to what they are now.
What were the commissions back then? What were you guys paying? What kind of marketing were you doing?
32%. Like if you were getting paid 32%, that's pretty big. I remember one year I negotiated 40% when I was selling, and that was big. And then when we started our own thing, we were charging companies like, I remember we moved a client from 52% to 60%, and almost lost the pest control company over it. But that was just the going rate at the time. And it's crazy. Like we're getting 60 to 62% as a marketing company. That was our marketing fee, and we were still super profitable.
Yeah. How did you pitch that to the pest control company?
I remember we were offered 60% by another client, and we wanted to stay with the client we sold with the year before. And he was paying us 52%, and we just said like, hey, and his name's Ben, good dude, really good dude, and said, hey, we've got an opportunity to go sell for someone else. We're gonna go take that opportunity. And he's like, well, why? And I said, well, they're gonna pay us 60%. And he's like, we can't do that. And I'm like, I know. That's why we kind of came to the table, kind of assuming that he would go. Caught me a little bit trying to get him to see if he would chase us or not. And he did. He's like, okay, I'll match it. And then he matched it, and he was not happy about it, but we perform for him every year. We put on $1 million for him at least every year.
Cool. And so as the marketing company, how do you like pitch them? This is how you make this work? This is how you make the numbers work? Or do you say, hey, like, we're just gonna knock doors and you're gonna give us 60%? Or was there, did you have to sit them down and be like, okay, this is how many accounts we're gonna do, this is how long I'm gonna stay on for, like the math works?
No, by the time we were fortunate enough, so we have had to do that. We have had to do that much later in our journey. In the early years, we were selling to with clients that knew this model really well. And so like Ben, the guy that I was talking to you about, he came up in door to door and then he switched and didn't want to recruit anymore. So he brought us on. So he was really comfortable with the model. And then we eventually, Clark Pest Control. So there's Clark South, which is separate than, anyways. And then we sold for Clark South for a long time. And again, I think they started door to door back in the day, so they were really comfortable with the arrangement. As we branched away from those people, then yeah, we actually had many opportunities where, and my partner Danny would do, this guy that did this stuff, but he'd sit down with the owners and say, hey, this is how much money you need your bank account. This is how long it's going to take to be profitable. These are the margins that you're going to be looking at. And sometimes that foreshadowing worked really well for the clients. And sometimes it didn't. Like we had clients that were like, it worked out similar to what we explained, but the reality of it was like, oh man, I'm never doing this again.
And back then, did they have to put like a upfront payment down for you guys to get rolling?
We take retainers. We would do a retainer like, during the recruiting season, October, and take a $20,000-$30,000 retainer or $10,000 retainer a month.
Yeah.
And then during the summer.
Right on. So you do that for like 4 or 5 years. You said from 2009 to 13, right?
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Cool. Hold up, quick pause. If you're on a pest control company or fertilization weed control company, you're not in our Facebook group, you're choosing the harder path. Every operator that's in there is skipping years of mistakes because people are actually sharing what's working right now. So stop trying to brute force your way through growth alone. Search Pest Control Millionaires on Facebook or click the link below. And now let's get back to it. You put in all these accounts and you're like, hey, like, we're probably better off owning these accounts.
Yeah.
So walk me through that shift and how that was starting Natura and where'd you come up with the name? Like, just walk me through all that.
Yeah. So credit to Danny, my co-founder. He's the guy that came up with the name. We played with a bunch of different names. We had like Suntech, we had Evergreen, we had all these different names, but he pitched Natura and I'm like, dude, that's great. Like, that's perfect. And so I designed the logo. He came up with the name. And I think, if I'm just being totally transparent and honest, I think we were really kind of arrogant. We were thinking like switching from door to door to operations is going to be easy.
Yeah.
And when we made that switch, the first year we kept selling for Clark and our own company. And then the second year, so 2000 really the third year, 2014 is when we shifted everything into Natura. And we went from 1 office to 6 offices or 5 offices all in 1 year. And I mean, I'm sure you can guess how that went.
I've been there, slapped in the face a few times.
And we, let me just say that by the time we realized what was happening, it was too late. So, I mean, like, we were putting on accounts like crazy. I think in those 3 years in California, owning Natura in California, we put on like 22,000 accounts. But we were just losing them out the back because none of the owners were actually operators. And so finally, like in 2016, late 2015, I'm like, guys, our retention is terrible. Like, we're losing our customers. And I built out this plan actually with Andrew Burris, who was our branch manager at the time. Built out this plan to, like, we've got to revamp the whole operation. Like, it's got to become customer centric, because right now it's not. We're a sales centric company. Like, we're summer sales. Really, we're just a summer sales company, and we're just we're just hoping and praying that they get serviced. And so we built out this whole operational platform of how to shift to a customer centric business. And I remember looking at that thinking, this is going to be a 3-year transition. And then, so we worked on that with my partners, and late 2016, Terminex was like, hey, we'd like to buy you. And I was really annoyed at that idea. Like my partners wanted to sell, and I was like, no way. Like I got this plan, I'm really excited by it, and they said, no, we got to sell. Ended up being the right thing to do. Selling, getting out of California was good for us. And then it just gave me and Burris an opportunity to start that plan from day one in Reno. So we opened up in Reno 2017. We already had our operational platform, our customer centric platform built and ready to go, and it's been great. It's been great. But yeah, that transition, that was rough, dude. We got our butt kicked. We lost. I remember looking one time and we lost 40% of our customers in 1 year.
Yeah, I was writing down that question to ask what the retention was back then. So it lost 40%. Yeah.
Yeah, 40 was the highest, 28 was the lowest. Like we were right in that 30 to 35% yearly just churn. And so, I mean, we were doing so much door to door that if we didn't keep doing door to door to get the new cash flow, we'd go under, which is, I mean, not a place you want to be.
So speaking of the retention, what are some things that you shifted? I know you said more like customer centric. What did you guys do to help implement and stop some of that churn? Like, is it just training reps, or is it more on the operation side, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think the common misconception about retention is that in our industry, and maybe I'm wrong here. You have way more experience with people than me, so correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like my sense is that the industry views retention as a one-time event. When the realization for us was that retention begins in your marketing and it goes on forever. And so that was a shift for us. Is it wasn't just, oh, we have to be better at saving customers on a call to cancel. That's reactive retention. And that's a losing battle. Like you'll lose that every day of the week.
Right.
And so the question is how do you provide the right expectations up front in your marketing, in your sales process? And then how do you wow them during your initial service? 'Cause that's your really first real interaction with the customer. So how do you exceed expectations? And then how are you consistent thereafter? That was a shift for us. Is like, we've got to be telling the same story all the way through the customer journey. And then when we mess up, like, we don't save them by chatting with them over the phone or making promises to them. We save them by having really fast response, correct it really quickly, show a lot of empathy, and make the customer feel like we hear them, we get it, and it's our fault, we'll fix it.
Of course, none of us are perfect, but if they knew how much work we put in the back end, right, of this company, they would realize, okay, they're not just trying to take money, not trying to do a shitty service. Like, but again, of course, we always mess up. But at the end of the day, like, we put a lot of work into this thing, and we want to save customer as much as possible. Over the last, I'd say 6 months, maybe a little longer, built out a platform that predicts. It's an AI, and it predicts churn. And we pull all the data from the past 3 or 4 years, and we have it right now to almost 90% accuracy. The people who are going to churn before they even know they're going to cancel.
Jonas, that is actually something that I've been working on the side with an AI buddy of mine. I would love to pick your brain on that sometime, because that is, yeah.
I could not, like, of course it's AI, it's awesome. But the first time we ever pulled all the data and put it in, and compared like 23, 24, I think it's 23, 24 to 25, the very first time we ran it through, it was 80% accurate. First time. And now we have all 19 offices in it, and it's absolutely incredible. It funnels it up for, like, red is, like, high alert, medium, and then green. And so the high alert has a specific sequence, then it builds out playbooks for your retention team, saying, hey, this person is going to cancel. This is how you save them. It automatically texts the customer what we wanted to say. It'll email the customer what it wanted to say. Then it creates a to-do inside field routes for our CSR or whoever we want to call the customer. And then the playbook's there, like, pre-built out to save your customer. And it is next level. Like, our churn rate, which was already good, like, our highest churn rate for any of our offices was 27%. And so if we can get that, our goal is to get that down below, we want it to be like 17, 16, and the industry standards like 20. So if we can get it below sub 20, it'd be awesome. So that's our goal with it.
What are the main levers that you're finding, the main flags or indicators that are letting you know that like someone's on the cusp of cancel?
Yeah, so there's so many different options, right? So it could be the technician, right? Could be a specific technician. It could be a source. It could be from door to door to, could be from Google to Facebook. Pulls that data, the time of year that it's serviced, the day of time that it was serviced. Like all these factors go into it. When the next follow up was there a follow up phone call? And it tracks all the data and says, hey, here's your customers that look just like these customers that have all these same information that are all just like this, and it takes all that data and spits out on the front end saying, hey, these customers look just like this.
Yeah. So essentially, if I'm hearing you right, you took your data and said, these are the people that have already canceled. Here's all the identifying measures, measurables about that person, time of day. I mean, all that stuff.
Yeah, time of year, whether it's early spring, summer, fall, do they cancel in the winter? Like, yeah, all of it.
And then find mirror customers in my current database, and that triggers for you.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. That's awesome.
And what's really cool is like we took the same information and said, hey, these are all the best customers that have never left. Give us the same information as those. So now like our customer avatar is dialed. It is amazing. You got to think of like, it pulls the data for the neighborhoods, the areas, the cities that you're in. So say like it pulls everything, it's been incredible. Like I am blown away.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Do you have it? Have you got to the point where you're having your AI listen to phone calls and grading
Yeah.
them?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So every phone call gets graded. And then it just kind of tells you the same thing. Like this customer is happy, not happy. You solve this problem. We pull that data every single day too, and we go over it through our meetings once a week. But yeah, AI is going to change the game for sure. I don't think it'll replace people, and maybe it will. Maybe not yet, but it could replace people. But I'm saying like it's just helping people. Like it's helping. We have way better data than we've ever had. Like it's 1,000 times better than we ever had. But people are still working that data so to make the phone calls. We have some AR bots too. We have, so instead of putting out one of our CSRs or a couple CSRs on AR accounts receivable, we have some AR bots that are built in that are collecting AR for us. So I think it's going to help, but it's going to take our CSRs that we're paying whatever 50, 60, 70, whatever they get paid a year, like on bigger tasks that we can let the AI stuff handle. That's not really, doesn't need a human to do that. But then the CSR are going to analyze the data and then do all like the touch points. It say, hey, this person's going to cancel. Like in my opinion, if a person's going to cancel, we need to pick up the phone and call that person, talk to them, see what's going on. Maybe we offer them a free service. Maybe we send them a free gift. Like, hey, we just really love you. Want to put you in our, you've been with us for XYZ, terms. Like we want to put you in our platinum status. You get this, and this for free. Like anything you can do to save a customer. It is so much easier to save a customer than it is to put on a new customer. If you don't have that data and you can't tell, and you have 40% churning off your back and you don't know it, like how are you going to know?
Yeah, well, that's exactly, that's so cool. My thought on AI is I'm not sure consumers are ready for the type of AI optimization that will be available. I think the consumer will have to catch or the technology does. I think, or I should say, the technology will get there quicker. We treat AI very similar to you. We haven't expanded it as far as you have, that's for sure. I've been trying to build. I've been playing with that build, but haven't pulled it off, and that's awesome to see that you have. But what we use it as a tool for sure, and it just gives our best people in the business opportunities to be so much better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's just a win-win.
Yeah. So last summer, we demoed AI as an answering service, and it was just like after hours, and then anything extra, because we wanted to see what it was going to do. And in my opinion, it's more like an expensive voicemail at this point. It works, does some really cool stuff. But like you said, the reason I said that, because you said the consumer isn't ready for it. And I think there's some people like us, maybe not even me, but tech savvy, a little bit younger, that understand this kind of way that the world's turning. But yeah, we had a lot of people just pissed off. and like swearing at it because they're all recorded, swearing at the thing. And I get it. Like there's sometimes like myself personally, I'll make a phone call, and if I have to pay a bill online, like I don't want to talk to someone. Like I can just punch in my number, my credit card real quick and pay a bill. Awesome. But if I have a problem and all I get
Right.
is this AI thing and I got to talk to this AI about, now I'm upset.
Exactly.
I just
Yeah.
need to talk to someone. So I think that if you think like that, I think that, okay, maybe the consumer's not ready, maybe we're not ready. If we want to solve a problem, we want to talk to a human, but if we want to just pay a bill. So like think of like that as you're running your business, like as a consumer, I think you're right. They're not quite there yet. And I love talking to people. So
Well, that's what I think. Like, I also feel like and I'm not trying to branch too far away from pest control, but I just think as a people, as a community, like we are we have been we've isolated ourselves so much, and I actually think that people are moving away from that right now, where they want contact. Like I was talking to and this is a small data point. Read into this what you want, but I was talking to my watch buddy that sells watches, because a few years ago, like I was like, I'm done with the Apple Watch. I can't have that on my wrist all the time. And he's like, dude, everyone is coming to buy watches because they don't want the constant notifications on their body all the time. And I think that I guess I hope that trend continues. I hope that we continue to leverage technology in a way that helps, and then also provides us as a human community to connect more, because I don't know, I love people. I love chatting. I talk all day, like with people. I'd love to be around people all day. So I hope we as a people are moving more into face to face interaction again.
yeah, I think of like we were talking before the podcast started, like my daughter is 16. And so I watch what she does, obviously, on social media, and she doesn't have it. She's like, that stuff's so dumb.
I know.
So like 16-year-old kids, like, they're not really on any platform. They have like these, whatever they are, but they're not scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, or they're just she doesn't like that group doesn't like care for it.
That's so cool.
So it's different. And then I asked her, we were talking about AI, we were talking about Google one time. She's like, what? She's like, Dad, I don't search Google. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I just put in what I wanted into Google, and I'd go to the top left and it says AI mode. I click that and it tells me what I need to do. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think we're leaving SEO and moving to AEO.
Yeah, and I think that all the SEO that you've done in the past is going to help with AEO and putting it all together. Like the more SEO done in the past, it's all going to help now. But yeah, the world like, marketing in has not changed in 40 years, or maybe probably 20, 40 years. Not that I would know 40 years ago, but the last 20 years, it hasn't really changed. These last year, 2 years, it is changing and so the older operators, if they're not paying attention to the podcast or not looking, they're going to get left behind. So I think it's just smart to, always keep learning, hang out with younger people that know a lot more of this information than what we do, and stay connected to what's really going on out there is smart. So I agree with you.
Yeah. I think you're spot on.
So that was we went down a rabbit hole in AI there for a bit. But yeah, if you ever want to just check out what I got, I'll be more than willing to jump on a call and show it to you. It's pretty amazing.
For sure going to take you up on that. That sounds really exciting.
And then I'm gonna circle back to the Terminex deal, because a lot of times you don't hear about, more recently maybe, about maybe Terminex or whatever bigger companies not wanting to buy a door-to-door company. They came in, looked at everything. How'd that go? Like walk me through the process. Did they talk about your churn?
Yeah. So they yeah. So it was interesting. The time that we sold to Terminex, I think we were the last deal on, because that board of director during our deal got shifted, got changed, got pulled and totally changed. Our deal was far enough that they kept our deal going. They would have rejected. Had we come in a month or two later, the new board would not even have touched it. Because they had, whatever the name was at the time, Aptive had done so many of their churns. They used to be, what were they? They had all these different names. It doesn't matter. I can't remember. But yeah, so, and I think rightfully so. Like, I'm not sure that we were a good operation to buy. We've done 3 acquisitions in the last 5 years. If I was coming to look at our business, our California business, I would not buy it. And so, and they didn't pay a lot for it. They paid dollar for dollar on it, which I think it was like actually 97 cents on the dollar, which is probably about right. I will say that I don't believe Terminex, that area, that region, knew how to do acquisitions very well. They hadn't had a lot of them, and they didn't handle it well. And that actually worked out better for our benefit because Terminex, luckily, we had a good in with the team there, and they noticed that the operational team wasn't doing a good job, and so they actually changed our clawbacks
During the deal or before the deal?
after the deal. Yeah, yeah, because the operations team just started canceling people willy nilly, like really willy nilly, and luckily they changed the clawbacks and they just called it good, and we didn't have the clawback original clawback agreement because we would have had almost nothing if that was the case. But yeah, I mean that I'm really grateful they bought us. I'll say that. I'm grateful we got out of California. California is not a great place for us to operate. Um, outside of just not being as good as we should have been on the operation side, we got sued 4 times by the same 3 employees over just bogus stuff, and you just have to settle that crap. And we were happy to get out of California, and I'm grateful that Terminex. I'm grateful that deal went through. That was really good for us.
So I'm sure you had, like you said, like a 1 year deal with them. Did you work them for like a year?
No,
Just so
no,
the day you signed, you were done and walked away.
we were done. We walked away. They didn't. Yeah, I mean, we were only $3.5 million big, when they bought us. So, I mean, yeah, it was sign papers, walk away. We started a new office 2 months later in Reno, and that's been great. That's been killing. I mean, we have great retention there. We have great growth there. But
Yeah, let's we can kind of transition to that. Talk about California and transition, not the same thing, not the same transition. We're talking about business here. So let's just say, like, yeah. um, so yeah, I mean, which is really cool because you got to learn so much from your first business, right? From pest control, your churn, you caught that. You're like, okay, we know somehow how to fix our operation now. We get to start over from scratch.
right.
Tell me what you did different in Reno from California. How you started it. I know you guys started out door to door. I know you guys slowly moved away from what Andrew said. Talk me through like what some of the biggest changes that you made from California to Reno. I know Reno's been a really good branch. That I had a whole podcast. Andrew talked about inside of that podcast. Guys are crushing it there. Obviously, what your changes worked really well. But yeah, talk us through all that.
Yeah. So the biggest thing, and I don't know if this is exactly what you're looking for, but anyone that's starting a branch from scratch with door to door, the thing I learned in that Reno branch, now compensations are different, but essentially if you can sell 1.2 to 1.5 million dollars and your compensations are not out of control, you can afford to pay everyone out and show profit. That was that was the big realization for us is we went in and added, I don't know, 2,500 accounts. That ended up being about $1.2 million. And we were able to pay back ends. And that set us up on a trajectory where operationally we were never in crisis mode. And so that is one of the things that just helped us right off the bat really, really nice, really good. Well, it got us going. Number two is we just had a complete emphasis. We used to just have all our emphasis on the sales rep, making sure we have a capacity for them, making sure that they can get their services done, sell, reschedule current customers to make more capacity for, new customers. We stopped doing that. So operationally, we had to be better prepared. We stopped rescheduling customers for any bogus reason. We always had an extra guy that,
Doing initials.
yep, we had an
Yeah.
extra guy doing, and then we typically had a guy that was just available in case someone called out that could jump in. And so what that ended up happening is this is so simple. We just fulfilled expectations. We had a really good sales pitch, and then we just went through and did what we said we were going to do. We showed up on time. We did a great service. We went above them. We reserve a few things that we don't tell the customer about, that so that we can surprise them later by going above and beyond. Like internally, we have a response time of 24 hours. We never tell our customers that ever. That way, when they call up, we're there within 24, maybe 48 hours at the very latest. So keeping little pieces, little expectations for customers a secret, and then that helps us go above and beyond. The other idea that we adopted is just because something isn't our fault, that doesn't mean it's not our problem. And so, you go to someone's house and like, we experienced this with a customer, and they're like, my pool pump broke. Your guy was the last one here. You guys broke it. And so like, not our fault. We know we didn't do that, but it's our problem. How can we fix it? And so what we very often do is we'd have a professional come out, look at the problem, say, yeah, there's no way a guy hit this with his web pole and broke it. And then we'd offer to pay for it. And little things like that help us go above and beyond. But I think the thing that really set us apart is we started a thing called Secret Service. It comes out of a book called, I can't remember the name of the book all of a sudden. It's a customer service book that I loved. Shoot. I don't remember the name. But it's this idea of Secret Service. So when you find out something personal about a customer, so we're always collecting what's called Ford, family, family, recreation, occupation, and dreams. So our CSR is on the phone, our technicians out in the field, they're collecting those things, and those provide us opportunities to go deliver something special for a customer. I mean, like one time a technician found out it was the customer's 4-year-old daughter's birthday. And our technician's like, what do you want for your birthday? And she's like, I want pink headphones. And the mom's like, that's not happening. I didn't get her pink headphones. So our technician went out and bought pink headphones for her and brought it back to the house and gave it to her. And so teaching our employees to do that stuff, empowering our employees to do that stuff, really moved the needle. Like somebody calls in and they like, hey, I got to cancel because I have cancer. I'm going to chemo. Like we just give them free pest control. And then we have a chemo kit we send out, like blanket and all that stuff. So I mean, all this to say is we stopped just caring about growth and started caring about our customers and just running a good business.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we try to implement the same thing. I wouldn't say that they're always the best about it either. But again, if someone calls in, had a family member die, we're sending out flowers to them. Our guys in the doors do the same thing. It's simple things too, like you mentioned. Like if you can remember their dog's name, put it in their notes, customer notes. Hey, how smart you doing today? Like my pest control guy just remembered my dog, and then you bring it on top of it. You bring in like a doggy basket. They're like, wild. It's simple things like that. Yeah. So I think it's super smart, and that's how you retain customers. It's not just about taking their money. It's about building relationships with them. So we don't want these customers for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. We want them for as long as they own the home, and even after if they move within our service area. Like we want to build a relationship with them for a lifetime, not just 12 or 24 months. So that's where your CAC to LTV changes completely if you start, like you said, start focusing on your customer. And I'm not saying that I learned this all right away too, but I read some good books, had some good mentors. Like you really had to put an effort to keep your customers.
Yeah, it's just not easy. I mean, it's not like, and that was the biggest thing I learned from California. Starting my first pest control company is we had this like I said earlier, we had this arrogance about us. It was like, oh, we can grow a pest control company. That's the hardest part. We're gonna do great.
Yeah, like let's just even just sort of throw simple math at it, right? Let's say you're doing $3 million, and let's say you lost 40%, you'd have been doing 5.5 million roughly off the top of my head. Not a math genius by any means, but so that basically cost you, $100,000 throughout the summer to do all these little things. Maybe retain 30% of that 40%. Now you'd actually an extra $1.5 million in revenue, like you just sold for X, Y, like all would have compounded. So yes, it might cost you extra money during the season, but long term, like that's what you got to think about. It's not just about today in this year. It's about 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. For however long you own your company.
Well, that's exactly right. And the thing that's on top of that, and it becomes synergistic, is because your employees want to work for a company that does that stuff.
For sure.
Like your employees don't want to work for a transactional company. And if they do, you might have your wrong employees. But you want to have employees. I mean, your employees will be excited when they get to go deliver pink headphones or, a chemo kit or a dog biscuit. Like employees like that better. And then you keep your employees. I mean, everything's compounding. There's just really no shortcuts.
I agree. There's not. Like I said, it's so much easier to keep a customer than it is to get a new one. This really is. So you guys started in Reno, built that up. I know Andrew was your branch manager. We talked about that on a whole podcast. Then how do you guys branch out from Reno?
Yeah, so we had acquisitions pop up. We had an acquisition in Eastern Washington, that we were able to grab. That was a good. I call that an opportunistic acquisition. It's an acquisition that immediately increased our EBITDA. And then same thing happened in Boise. We had an acquisition that I'd been working on for a few years, that finally came available, and we bought that company, and that was another opportunistic acquisition. Increased EBITDA immediately, and then we did a second acquisition in Boise about 4 months later. So through and then we threw door-to-door teams on top of all that.
Oh, you did? And it's all the markets, or yeah?
Yeah. And all the well, and we would move our team strategically around our 3 offices depending on where we needed them. But like right after we bought that Washington office, their price was not optimized. It was really, really low. But you go throw in 2,000 new accounts on top of that at the new price, and then increase your old customers' price after a year. That thing it becomes well optimized really quickly. Same thing in Boise. We bought Boise in 2024, threw a team in on top of it in 2025. And I mean, you go from, when we bought the operation, we bought both acquisitions ended up being about $1 million. And now we're close to like $2.5, $3 million there. And it's great.
Yeah. How did you find those acquisitions?
So, it's just relationship based. I mean, I don't go out trying to find acquisitions. I just like chatting with other pest control owners. And so we sit down and chat, and there's been a few times, it doesn't happen all the time, but a few times someone will be like, "Oh, hey, I'm looking to sell. I'd like to sell to you." I'm like, "Cool, let's see if we can work something out," and we work it out.
Has there been anywhere you sat down, did the deal, and it just didn't work out? Or maybe you did the deal and you closed in the deal, like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have done that one?
So yes and no. yes and no. The
Short term, pain in the ass. Long term, good.
So well, let me say, we overpaid for one of the businesses in Boise. We overpaid for it, but the payment terms were so good that it was easy to do. So we paid a lot for it, but he didn't require any money up front, and just let it over we just pay on it over 10 years. Like, so it's, at 2.5-3% interest. So like, do we overpay for it? Sure. Is it still the right move? Absolutely. Like, it cash flows by itself easily. So I haven't had any. I've gotten close. I get overly excited by acquisitions, and Andrew.
I think we all do, right? Then we're emotionally invested.
Oh, I get emotionally invested so quick.
From day one, like, hey, I want to sell. You're like on it, like, yeah.
So stupid. And then I've had Andrew Burris like, this isn't a good deal. Like, this is like, we'll like, it's not enough revenue, or they want too much money, or like. So I'm grateful to have somebody that balances me out, like Andrew, my integrator. Like I'm glad he makes the final call. So luckily, I feel good about all of our acquisitions. However, I'm perpetually optimistic. So maybe ask Andrew if all our acquisitions are not.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That's just who we are as people. And like I said, I have a CFO on my team. He's like, yeah, this one. He's like, I don't know. He's like, this just isn't a great deal. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. But I was like, but the way I look at it is like, okay, we can buy fake numbers, right? Just take it for it. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, we can pay $1 for it. When we roll them up, it's arbitrage overnight. Now that same dollar for $1 for us is worth $10, $15. That's kind of high. Like, he's like, no, you're not wrong. It's still not a great deal. I'm like, I realize that. I can buy it for $1 on the dollar. I can sell in 5 years for, 20x. Like, it's worth it to me. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but that's how I look at it too. And so it's good to have people pushing back on us. They're there to do. Like, this is a constraint. Let's not do this one. This is a bad deal. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And it's not a market that we want to open up in. Like, I've had deals come up that are in Dallas. I'm like, oh, it's a great deal. Perfect size company. Like, do I have anyone in Dallas right now? No. Are we anywhere near Dallas? Well, we're in Oklahoma, but it's not quite close enough. So, yeah, like, if I can find some that are in my local markets that
I've never done an acquisition that I regret. Have I opened offices that I regret? Absolutely.
Yeah, tell me about one.
Oh yeah, dude. We after we opened in Reno, we're like, oh, we got this, and then we opened a branch in Oklahoma City, and then one in Tulsa, and like, dude,
there's some markets there.
Oh, they're great markets, but control was an issue that we didn't understand, and
right.
Yeah, don't even get me going. That's that's a wormhole we could go down deep
Yeah,
on.
all the markets are saturated these days, but Oklahoma City, Tulsa, they are saturated.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's some pressure there, and again, the door-to-door game is so strong. You have to be really, really good at keeping customers. These door-to-door guys are good. Like they're quick on their feet. They're smart. Like obviously, we have a bunch too. You have a bunch, and they are good. They are so good. So I'm not taking anything away from them. I think the industry has got to the point where maybe these marketing companies, they don't really care about any other company. They don't care about your company. They're just coming in to make money. Not all, but I hear so much stuff. I've seen so many recorded videos that are online of these reps. Not all reps are the same way either. So I'm not saying anything bad about door to door, but just like the lies, the misconceptions, like the fraud that's involved. Like I don't love that part of it. Like if you're gonna go sell, just be honest. There's nothing wrong with it. Like first thing I tell anyone on my team, if I hear you talking bad about any other company, you will not work here anymore. I don't care if it's Aptiv or Greenix. I do not care. But if I hear you lie, if I hear you say one bad thing about another company, you will not work here. That's just how we operate.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's why one of the benefits I try proactively to go meet all the pest control owners in my markets. So like for example, I'm good friends with some guys that started a door-to-door company in Reno. I like these guys a lot. Really good dudes. We compete with each other full on. They're probably, in my opinion, outside of us, the second best pest control company in Reno. But like, they hear that we're saying crap on them, or I hear they're, vice versa. We just call each other like, hey, like, dude, your guy, and like, oh, I didn't know that. Or he even called me one time. I thought this was really cool of him. He can call and he's like, hey, have you heard anything negative from your customers about things we've been saying? I said, a couple things. He goes, what is it? And I shared with him, and he's like, okay, what we were actually saying is this. It's being heard this way. I'm like, well, yeah, it's hurting us. And he's like, cool, we'll stop. I was like, that's like, I think it's interesting having those relationships, kind of like what you were saying in the beginning. Having relationships with people, I think, is like, and being abundant is really, really, really crucial, and it helps so much. And it helps stay away from all the contention and frustration that can exist in competitive markets.
Yeah, and I think door to door, like I said, it's great. I'm not saying anything bad about it. And I think switchovers are great.
Yeah,
I have nothing wrong with it. Like it's, I mean, business is war, right? It's man win. All I'm saying is like, do it ethically. That's all.
dude, we had a company. I don't want to say names. We had a company drop into Reno last year, and their door to door team didn't go well. So then they hired a bit, like middle of the summer, hired a big marketing company to bring some of the best guys into Reno, and we felt it immediately. We were getting 9 or 10 cancels a day, and as long as we talk to the customer, like we keep the customer, because they were just really pushy and really unethical and making stuff up. And I don't know if you get this, but you get like the same email, like the
yeah, of course, template. You know it's coming. Yeah,
exactly. So we built an AI that would read those emails
same.
and automatically respond as a 404 undeliverable.
Yeah.
And so like
It'd make them call.
Yeah, I made him call.
Yeah,
And that was a good little side hack we did.
I love that.
Sales process.
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah, and like I said, just keep it ethical. That's all. Like business is war. At the end of the day, may the best man win. That's cool. These big companies come in, and they're just not everything. Majority of what they say is just a lie, and it's like, and then you see it like they can't even lie about it because it's posted online from a Ring door camera. It's like whatever. Again, rabbit hole, but just like across the board, just keep it ethical. And I think 99% of the business owners out there want to do it that way. And they bring in these reps, they bring marketing companies that all they care about is their 80, 90, 104%, which again, that's probably a rabbit hole we could go down because some of these numbers are getting crazy. Like I get it, like dollar for dollar, that's what you buy a company for, like I get it. But paying 100% it is over plus 100%. It's crazy to me.
No, I mean yeah. If you want to do it ethically and you want to pay under 100%, you've really got to bring it in half on your own. And even then, doing it under 100% and getting good reps can be difficult.
For sure. And thankfully, we've gotten lucky and recruited really well, built our own teams, and
that's great, dude.
It's been awesome. And I don't come come from that background. That's not who I am, but it's been going really well. So I love it. We don't even have much time, but I'm going to ask 2 more questions. One, what is making you guys transition away from door to door, go more online?
So, okay, 2 things. We found it difficult to stay under the 100% threshold, even doing it in-house. I think last year we paid 124% to run our program in-house, which isn't unovercomable. You just fix that by getting the right first-year reps and doing, there's a lot there. The number 2 was, the biggest reason for me is because it has been our only channel for so long, that once something starts going wrong, like it did last year, we lost too many of our first-year reps. There were no levers for us to pull when crap hit the fan to change anything. Whereas doing more conventional marketing, or even a mix of conventional with door-to-door, you have a lot of levers you can pull. Oh, this offer's not working, let's do this. Oh, this is like, but with door-to-door, really, it's like, hey, let's try an incentive. Let's try free initials. Like, you start trying some things, but at the end of the day, if your door-to-door reps aren't mentally strong and aren't out there to really hunt, you got problems. And a lot of times you don't find that out until it's too late.
Yeah, I think Alex Ramosi calls it key channel risk, right? All your sales are coming from one channel, and you don't have a second channel or a third channel to keep, exactly right here.
Yeah, dude.
Same book.
Yeah, same book. That's funny.
But yeah, so I just it's key channel risk. So make sure that you have different channels that you can market through. You still get customers in, right?
Yeah, we aren't against doing door to door. We'll do it. It just can't be our only thing.
Agreed, 1,000%. Yeah, and then what's the next 3 years look like for you?
Yeah, so we're working our hardest. Our goal is to be a $20 million business by the end of 2028.
Awesome.
So, and that's exciting. Like, that's really exciting to us. So right now we're focusing really hard on building our new, really, what's the word I want to use? High predictable sales engine, high certainty sales. We're working on building that. We're going deeper on our customer experience, and then we're just actively looking for acquisitions to hit those numbers. So it's been fun. We're about $7 million right now, so it's a $13 million growth over the next 3 years.
Awesome, I love it. Cool, man. Well, I don't want to cut you off early for the podcast. I got to stop already about an hour because has our driver's test today. And we got to go practicing before it starts, and that's in an hour and a half. So
no, that's great, man.
Thanks for your time. You're a stud. When I get out to your neck of the woods, I'll definitely hit you up. We'll go have lunch, check your operation out there too. I think it'd be super cool. Thanks for everything you do for the industry. You're a stud. I know you're highly active in it. So again, just thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we'll have to circle back maybe next year and just kind of follow up, see where things are at.
I'm down. Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, dude.
Peace. Hey guys, thanks for listening to another episode of Pest Control Millionaire. We don't charge any money for the show, but the podcast isn't free. Please like and subscribe and give us a 5-star review in your favorite podcast app. This makes a huge difference for us. If you have any specific questions about your business or your personal life that you'd like answered by me or any of my podcast guests, please send an email to info@pestcontrolmillionaire.com. And if you want to get in touch with me about our marketing class, we do a live version every Thursday night. Check out our website at pestcontrolmillionaires.com. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one.